Right, welcome back, Johnyboy here. We're in the garden today and we've come back to this project because the customer has asked us to do another little job and have a quick look around the garden before we go any further. This part over here was very important and there's a small azalea in this pot and it's gone over now, of course. It's May now, well, it's June, isn't it, rather? But the grandmother's ashes are in here, so our client wanted to sort of have a special place, so it's at the end of the path here. We've got these little slate squares, cobbles, and we put the white cobbles in the centre. So that was very important. And this part of the garden over here, the client didn't want this part, and they did want it, but it wasn't within their budget. But I felt that it needed to be done, so what we done was I got to pay for materials, and we did it. It's as simple as that. I needed that part of the garden sort of finished off, and there we are. It's done. If you come back round here, Josh, and be able to show our viewers what we've done over here. If you come back and walk on the lawn, which we'll show in a minute. This is a bay tree that was right the way over this house. Okay, it was right the way over. But what we've done is we've cut down to a manageable height now. And they wanted to keep it because it's a big old wall, and they like the bay tree. Okay. The fact is, it probably needed to come out because there's other things that you could have put on here to mask the brickwork, but they wanted to have some green in the garden, just as they got this cherry in the garden over here. So they retained that, and they're quite well established. By next year, that bay tree would have filled out a little bit more. You can see all the new growth that's coming through on the inside, so you won't see any of those stumps, okay? It was quite a severe cutback, and we had to be quite mercenary with it, but there you are. Right. If you just come down this side, this job's gone on a bit longer than what we estimated, was because there were lots of little extras that they looked at. And one of the extras was we put a shousugiban fence in on this side over here. Okay, took the old fence down. It all takes time while we're doing these extra jobs. We're not doing the jobs that we were commissioned to do in the first place. Okay, which is a bit annoying because you're not getting paid until these jobs are done. But as you can see down there, we've got to put some more white cobbles along there, but it's a fantastic contrast. Okay, nice and dark, the shousugiban looking really good, better than that feather edge fencing that you see all too often. I'm going to show you, that's facing the outside there, but if you look at the path, this is a massive transition to what it was before. It was just an ugly area that never got used. It's nice and wide now. There was a little path before, but obviously now they'll be able to put their bins around there and any other products that they don't want within the garden, any of those accessories. The table and chairs over here is actually not a part of, it's not going to be formed part of the garden. I'm not sure whether they're going to get rid of that. But we've got this meandering brick edge going round, and it's got a real geometric feel about it. If you look at over here now, you can see the brick set there, meandering raised bed effect. The plants can cascade over the side. They can use things like campanula or breccia, saxifraga at the front end, and then we can create some layer planting. I haven't been commissioned to do the layer planting, but I've been asked to give some advice on what types of plants that you can use in the garden. And I think you will agree with me that in that corner over there, it probably needs some acers, okay? It's a nice sheltered area, got a bit of sun, okay, and maybe an acer palmatum dissectum atripurpurea, something that's going to be purpley in colour, okay? It'll have some protection, maybe coming into that little point over there. But if you look over there, we've been asked to do a pergola, and a pergola in a circular format to mirror the rest of the garden, and it's been a real challenge. And as you can see, we got the clamps on there at the moment, holding the boards in place, okay? And what we've had to do to bend the boards, we've had to glue it just like gluing a glue lamp beam, okay? If you look on the internet, you have a look at glue lamp beams, how they work. You see them in big houses, big auditoriums, they have timbers that are bent into different shapes. Absolutely fantastic, but a lot of work into it, okay? But it's a nice circular shape. There is a challenge with that now, is what we're going to put across. We're probably going to have to face it off again a little bit more. I prefer to burn it off and give it the shousugiban again, but unfortunately I think the client's going to paint it, okay, maybe like a dark grey colour, okay, and that will match in perhaps with the brick edge, the slate brick edge that we're using, so a slatey colour possible on that area. But this is an add-on. Gardens are an extension of your home, and they're always changing, they're always evolving. Okay, so if you come down here and have a look now, if you look at this part of the garden, as you come in the garden, from the corner of the garden, this is your vista and your focal point. This is where it's all happening. We turfed this area last week, and if you have a look at it, the grass, this has just been down just over a week, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, just over a week.
Just over a week. And as you can see, what I'm going to do, you can come down, get down and have a look. And this is the success of all the hot weather we've had lately. And we've had a lot of rain, of course. But if you pull this up now, you can, if you come closer, Josh. There you are. That's all the new root system. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. And with this lawn, we just raked and raked and raked it on a regular basis, kept going over it. The client wanted us to put the turf down, but I wanted to get all those air pockets out of it. We raked it off, got rid of all the old stone, and raked, just kept going over it, kept reducing it in level, kept raking it, kept walking it, okay? And eventually I felt that it was firm enough under feet so we could lay the turf. But when we laid the turf, we used a scaffold board, okay? And as we went along, we used a sledge to flatten the turf into the soil, and that's when you get that good adhesion. But it adheres to the soil, and then the root system is going to grow fast, like I showed you there. Okay, that's the first time I've pulled that one up, so that won't take long to go back down. And it's an absolute beautiful colour. This turf has come from Lincolnshire, and it's just a better quality soil that they actually grow it on up there. And you can see it's an absolute, I think it's a dwarf perennial ryegrass on there. And it's all nice and even, just in one seed going all the way through, so you get that even look in growth, and you don't have any other seed coming up. And that's the thing, lawn care, so important. Okay, if you look now, you see where the shovel is in the corner. This is our planting pocket, the backdrop to the garden. Okay, this is the part that I like to take part in, and I can offer them some advice on what types of plants that we talked about just then. Maybe a Magnolia stellata, Acer palmatum, maybe an Acer bloodgood in the corner as well. There's lots of options, and I'd like to put some grasses in here as well, because grasses, prairie grasses, are low maintenance, and they're going to give you a nice effect as well in the winter. You can see the two circular shaped areas. One's going to have a hot tub on, and the other one's just going to be like a little seated area, and it just brings it all together. If you come over here, one of the issues we had with the garden was how we joined these two areas, and I had an idea beforehand, but what we've done, we've used these small bricks, okay, these cobbles, and we've used the Makeover exterior grate on here, and it's absolutely perfect, okay. And when we were doing it, it was quite a hot day, so I kept soaking it regular in order that it didn't crack, so it dries out nice and evenly. One of the things that we had with the garden, if you remember, Josh, was that when we come to the pointing, we cleaned it all off before we did the turfing, and we pointed it, okay? And it was so important that we stayed away for a couple of days in order to allow the grout, the brush and grout, to go off, okay? But the client was a little bit annoyed. He wanted us there, but the fact is, I'm not going to compromise a patio for a couple of days, okay? It's so important, and that allowed us to go on and do some other things somewhere else, okay? Which is so important, because as a business we need to keep moving on. The fact is, we couldn't do nothing here, but we needed to keep moving on. We need to earn a living. So all in all, we've done the soft and hard landscapes here, but the planting pockets are available now. The unfortunate thing as well about the garden, was one of the annoying things, was that we had a big manhole in the garden, and we couldn't drop the level anymore because it was on what we call a polo mint. It was quite a big manhole, big chamber. I think it was like maybe a 1.5 chamber, big rings going down. It's about 12 foot deep, and there's a big polo mint on the top, and they had one course of brick that we could reduce the level down, okay? That needs access there, because I believe there's an easement on there with Welsh Water where they need to come in if they needed to gain access to it, because it's the main tributary of all these houses right the way down. Well, I showed you a little bit on the garden now, and if you've enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. There's a lot more to do on here, but we're nearly coming to the end of the part where we've been commissioned to do the things we're doing. And as I said, we've got a circular format. If you have a look here, a circular, if you stay over this way, Josh, just a circle, just come at this angle just here, a circular format here of this pergola going on. And there's a little bit more to do, and I'm not getting paid for this bit, but I felt that they've been good customers, so they needed a little bit of a hand with this, and we wanted to create something a little bit different. There's still a lot more work to be done on it. Look, if you need any advice, it doesn't matter where you are in the country or anywhere in the world, okay, you can go straight to the website, which is www.greentoplandscapes.co.uk, or you can find us on Facebook, which is Landscaping Survival with Johnyboy, where we've got nearly 3,000 like-minded landscapers talking about the things that they love, landscaping, the garden room, okay, they're all on there. Join the group. If you have an interest in landscaping, join the group, send a request and we'll add you. It's no problem at all. You can follow us on Instagram and you can follow us on Twitter, okay? We're quite active out there. Go and have a look at our work, and it's so important that if you're a landscaper and you're on the group, like and share. So important. And remember, subscribe to YouTube. I'm afraid that's it for now. We're going to have to get on, and I'll see you in the next edition of Landscaping with Johnyboy.